Linda opened her mouth but said nothing. "There's one final matter," Mr. Henderson said. "The antique furniture sold without authorization. According to Mrs. Emily, the pieces were over 70 years old. Family heirlooms. How much did you sell them for?" Silence. "How much?" I repeated. Michael swallowed. $800. The world stopped. 800. I whispered. "You sold hand-carved mahogany furniture worth over $5,000 for 800? "The buyer said they were old and needed restoration," Michael murmured. "Because they were antiques." I shouted, standing up. "That furniture was my mother's legacy." "They were just old furniture," Linda said dismissively. Something snapped, not sadness, rage. I walked toward her slowly. She recoiled in fear. "Just old furniture?" I said dangerously softly. "That furniture came from Boston in 1952. My mother polished it every Sunday. I taught Michael to read there. We shared 30 years of meals around it." "I didn't know," Linda stammered. "You didn't ask," I said coldly. "Anything old and not expensive is worthless to you. Just like me." I showed them the photos, my belongings dumped outside, my husband's memories discarded. "I thought you didn't use them anymore," Linda whispered. "So you threw them out while I was burying my sister?" "We needed space for the baby." "You had 4 bedrooms." I shouted. "Why my room? Why humiliate me?" Linda cried. It no longer moved me. "Lawyer," I said, turning to Mr. Henderson. "I want them out. Start the eviction." "No." Michael yelled. "We have nowhere to go." "You should have thought of that before destroying me." "Legally, we can begin immediately," the lawyer said. 30 days. "What kind of grandmother are you?" Linda sobbed. That cut deep. But then I saw her fear, real fear. "I won't leave you homeless," I said finally. "But here are my terms." They would sign a lease. $700 rent. $600 monthly repayment for 4 years. Miss one payment, eviction. That's $1,300 a month. Michael cried. "Then Linda will work," I said. I worked until my 8th month of pregnancy on my knees. "You'll regret this," Linda hissed. "You'll never see your grandchild." "If that's my burden, I'll carry it," I replied. "But I will never be a slave in my own home again." They signed. I stood alone afterward, victorious but hollow. 3 days later, everything changed again. I woke in the utility room with crushing pain in my chest. I couldn't breathe. My legs failed. Darkness swallowed me. I woke in a hospital bed. "You had a mild heart attack," the nurse said. "Your neighbor saved your life." Mrs. Higgins. 8 hours unconscious. My children arrived, Jessica and David. Michael did not. That hurt more than the heart attack. I told them everything. They were furious. Michael ignored their calls. "You're coming with me to Chicago," Jessica said. "I rented an apartment," I told them. They stared at me. "You planned ahead," David said softly. "A widow learns to protect herself." The doctor warned them, another heart attack would be fatal without change. "Cut contact," he advised. I obeyed. I healed. I found peace. Until 2 weeks later, when Michael knocked on my door. He looked ruined. "I believed Linda," he confessed. "I was wrong." He begged. And finally, he asked forgiveness, for everything. And that was when I had to make the hardest decision of my life. Tears streamed down his face, yet I felt absolutely nothing. That emptiness terrified me more than anything else. My own son was standing there, crying in front of me, and I had no urge to hold him, no instinct to comfort him, no warmth rising in my chest. "Michael," I said at last, forcing the words out slowly. "Does Linda know you're here?" He shook his head quickly. "No. I slipped away while she was at work. If she finds out, she'll lose it completely." "Why?" I asked, though I already sensed the answer. "Because she's still furious with you," he replied. "She says you destroyed our lives. That you took everything away from us." A bitter laugh escaped my throat before I could stop it. "I didn't take anything from you," I said coldly. I set limits. And those are not the same thing. I know, he murmured. I know that, Mom. But she doesn't. And what about you? I asked. How do you see it? Michael lifted his eyes to mine, and for the first time I saw how broken he truly was. I see that I lost my mother for a woman who doesn't respect me. A woman who yells at me, blames me for everything, controls me, and threatens to take my son away if I don't obey her. Then divorce her, I said plainly. I can't, he whispered. She's pregnant. I inhaled deeply. Michael, I was 7 months pregnant with David when your father died. I had no choice but to go on alone. If you are capable of working, then you are capable of supporting your child, with or without Linda. He tried to interrupt, but I raised my hand. No, buts. Either you stay with her and accept what comes with that choice, or you walk away and build a different life. But you cannot continue like this, destroying yourself. And you cannot come here expecting me to fix everything for you. He stayed silent for a long time. Then, in a voice so small it sounded like a child's, he asked, Don't you love me anymore, Mom? That question shattered something inside me. I will always love you, I said quietly. You are my son. I carried you, raised you, taught you everything I could. But I don't trust you anymore. And I don't know if I ever will again. What do I have to do? He pleaded. Tell me what I have to do to earn your trust back. Grow up, I replied simply. Stop expecting your mother to solve your life. Make adult decisions. Stand up for what is right, even when it costs you. And if I do? He asked. If I change, will you forgive me? I don't know, Michael, I answered honestly. I truly don't. He stood slowly, looking older than his years, defeated. Then I'll prove it with actions, he said. Not words. At the door, he turned one last time. When the baby is born, would you come meet him? The question caught me off guard. If you invite me sincerely, if I'm treated with respect, and if Linda accepts my presence without drama, then yes. Thank you, Mom, he said softly before leaving. I stood there shaking. Jessica had been right, seeing him had been painful, but necessary. He needed to hear the truth, and I needed to say it. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I replayed every word, every look on his face. Had I been too harsh? Or was I simply protecting myself from more pain? At 2 a.m, my phone rang. It was Jessica. Mom, are you awake? Yes, sweetheart. What's wrong? I just got a very strange call. A woman who says she's Linda's mother. My blood ran cold. Mrs. Beatrice? What did she want? She wants to meet you. She says it's urgent, that she has information about Linda and Michael that you need to know. What kind of information? She wouldn't say. Only that it's serious, and that it could change everything. My thoughts raced. After that horrible dinner, why would Linda's mother want to see me now? What do you think? I asked. I think you should listen, Jessica said. But not alone. I'm coming with you. From Chicago? I left 2 hours ago. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. I smiled despite myself. Thank you, my girl. No one is going to hurt you again, Mom, she said firmly. The next day, we met Mrs. Beatrice at a downtown cafe. She arrived on time, but she was nothing like the elegant woman I remembered. Her hair was disheveled, dark circles framed her eyes, and her hands trembled as she clutched her purse. Thank you for coming, she said weakly. What do you want? Jessica asked coolly. Mrs. Beatrice pulled an envelope from her bag and placed it on the table. You need to know the truth about my daughter. About who she really is. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were bank statements, photographs, printed messages, evidence that left me breathless. Linda wasn't just manipulative. She was far worse. Credit card statements. Massive debts. $12,000, I read aloud, my mouth dry. She's a compulsive shopper, Mrs. Beatrice confessed. She's been like this since she was 20. We've paid her debts 5 times. These cards predate the marriage, Jessica noted. Yes, Mrs. Beatrice agreed. When she met Michael and learned about the house, she saw an opportunity. Are you saying she married my son for money? I asked. And she lied about the pregnancy, she said quietly. The world stopped. Medical reports confirmed it. Linda could not have children. The pregnancy was a lie. She's faking everything, her mother sobbed. Clothes, symptoms, tests. Even fake positive results. She's done this before, she admitted. Scammed 3 men. I felt sick. Michael has to know. Jessica hesitated. This will destroy him. He's already destroyed, I said. At least now he can rebuild on truth. That afternoon, I called Michael and demanded he come immediately, with Linda. When they arrived, Linda wore tight maternity clothes and irritation. The truth unfolded piece by piece. Documents. Messages. Proof. Michael read the messages again and again before collapsing onto the sofa. Tell me the truth, he begged. Finally, Linda broke. I'm not pregnant, she whispered. Michael's scream broke my heart. Get out, he roared at her. She left, full of hatred. Michael collapsed to the floor, sobbing. I sat beside him and held him for the first time in months. I already forgave you, I told him, from the moment you chose the truth. The days that followed were chaos. Divorce. Court. Testimony. Linda exposed. Arrested. Charged. Michael rebuilt slowly. Months later, he returned the house to me fully, legally, without conditions. I want to earn my life, he said. A year later, we sat together in the garden. I thought I lost everything, I said. But I only lost lies. We raised our glasses in peace. That night, under the stars, I smiled. I had fallen. I had broken. But I had risen. Dignity is not given, it is defended. And it is never too late to stand up. Even at 67. A sharp, bitter laugh escaped my lips. I didn't take anything from you, I said. I set limits. Those 2 things are not the same. I know, he answered quickly. I know that, Mom. But she doesn't understand it that way. And what about you? I asked. How do you see it? Michael lifted his gaze toward me. I see that I lost my mother for a woman who doesn't even respect me. A woman who yells at me, blames me for everything, and threatens to take my son away if I don't obey her. Then divorce her, I replied without hesitation. I can't, he said softly. We're expecting a baby. Michael, I said firmly, I was 7 months pregnant with David when your father died. I had no choice but to move forward on my own. If you are capable of working, then you are capable of supporting your child, with or without Linda. He tried to interrupt. But, no, I cut him off. No buts. Either you stay with her and accept the consequences of that decision, or you leave and begin a new life. But you cannot continue like this, destroying yourself. And you cannot come here expecting me to fix your life for you. Michael stayed quiet for a long time. Then, in a voice that sounded painfully young, he asked, Don't you love me anymore, Mom? That question shattered my heart. I will always love you, I said softly. You are my son. I carried you inside me. I raised you. I taught you how to walk, how to talk, how to read. But I no longer trust you. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust you again. What do I have to do? He begged. Tell me what I need to do to earn your trust back. Grow up, I answered simply. Stop being a child who expects his mother to solve everything. Make decisions like an adult. Stand up for what is right, even when it's hard. And if I do? He asked. If I really change, will you forgive me? I don't know, Michael, I said honestly. I truly don't. He stood up slowly from the sofa. He looked older than his age, exhausted, defeated. Then I'll prove it to you through my actions, he said. Not with words anymore. He walked toward the door, but before leaving, he turned around one last time. When the baby is born, would you come meet him? The question caught me off guard. If you invite me sincerely, if I'm treated with respect, and if Linda accepts my presence without drama, then yes, I will go. Thank you, Mom, he said quietly, and then he left. I stood in the center of my apartment, trembling. Jessica had been right. Seeing him had been painful, but it was also necessary. Michael needed to hear the truth, and I needed to say it. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed the entire conversation in my mind, his words, his shattered expression. Had I been too harsh? Too cold? Or was I simply protecting my heart from being hurt again? At 2 a.m, my phone rang. It was Jessica. Mom, are you awake? Yes, my love. What's wrong? I just received a very strange phone call, from a woman who says she's Linda's mother. My blood ran cold. Mrs. Beatrice? What did she want? She wants to meet with you. She says it's urgent. She claims she has information you need to know about Linda and Michael. What kind of information? She wouldn't say over the phone. Only that it's serious and that it could change everything. My thoughts began racing. Why would Linda's mother want to speak to me after how she treated me at that awful dinner? What do you think? I asked. I think you should hear her out, Jessica said. But not alone. I'm coming with you. From Chicago? I left 2 hours ago. I'll arrive tomorrow afternoon. My daughter, always protecting me. Thank you, Jessica. That's what we're here for, Mom, she replied. No one is going to hurt you again. Not while I'm breathing. The following day, Jessica and I met Mrs. Beatrice at a downtown coffee shop. She arrived on time, but she looked nothing like the proud, elegant woman I remembered. Her hair was unkempt, dark circles framed her eyes, and her hands trembled as she clutched her purse. Thank you for coming, she said in a broken voice. What is it that you want? Jessica asked coolly. Mrs. Beatrice pulled an envelope from her bag and placed it on the table. You need to know the truth about my daughter, about who she really is. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were countless documents, bank statements, photographs, printed messages. What I saw stole my breath away. Linda was not simply manipulative or spoiled. She was something far worse. What Mrs. Beatrice revealed that afternoon was so shocking I could barely believe it. And once Michael learned the truth, his world would completely collapse. As I reviewed the papers, my hands trembled. Credit card statements, cards I had never heard of, all in Linda's name. Massive debts. $12,000, I read aloud, my mouth dry. In credit cards. How is this possible? Mrs. Beatrice's eyes were red. She looked years older than when I last saw her. My daughter is addicted to shopping. She's been a compulsive buyer since she was 20. Her father and I have paid off her debts 5 times 0.5. And she always relapses. Jessica examined the documents carefully. These credit cards were opened 3 years ago, long before she married Michael. Exactly, Mrs. Beatrice agreed. Linda met Michael on a dating app. When she discovered he owned a house, she saw the perfect opportunity. I interrupted, feeling nauseous. Are you saying my daughter-in-law married my son for money? And more than that, she said. My daughter lied to him about the pregnancy. The world stopped. What? I whispered. Mrs. Beatrice pulled out more documents, medical reports, prescriptions, printed conversations. Linda cannot have children. She's had a uterine condition since she was 18. The doctors were clear. Natural pregnancy is impossible. Jessica and I exchanged horrified looks. But she's pregnant, Jessica said. We saw her at dinner. She's lying, Mrs. Beatrice said through tears. There is no pregnancy. There never was. Read these messages. She handed me her phone. They were WhatsApp conversations between her and Linda. Mom, I already told Michael I'm pregnant. He was happy. Linda, you cannot do this, he won't find out. I'll say I lost it in a few months, but by then I'll be settled in the house. This is wrong. You never support me. I need this house. I'm drowning in debt. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Michael knew nothing, nothing at all. She's very good at lying, Mrs. Beatrice continued. But this time, I whispered, she stayed. Yes, she nodded. Because this time there was a house. Jessica's voice hardened. And you watched her throw my mother's belongings away, sell her furniture, humiliate her, and you said nothing? I was afraid, Mrs. Beatrice cried. My daughter can be dangerous. She threatened to cut me out of her life forever. She is no longer a child, I said firmly. She is an adult committing fraud. And silence makes you complicit. She nodded through tears. That's why I'm here. Yesterday she asked me for $3,000 to buy fake pregnancy reports. I can't do this anymore. Jessica gathered the documents. We'll need certified copies, and you must be willing to testify. I will, she said. I just want it to end. I stared at the papers. My poor son, deceived, manipulated, destroyed. I have to tell him, I said. Jessica hesitated. This will destroy him. He's already destroyed, I replied. But at least the truth will let him rebuild. That afternoon, I called Michael and told him to come immediately, with Linda. When they arrived, the truth unfolded piece by piece. The lies collapsed. Linda confessed. Michael broke. She left. And for the first time in months, I held my son while he cried on the floor like a child. I already forgave you, I told him, the moment you chose the truth. Everything that followed, divorce, court, arrest, justice, healing, came from that moment. And in the end, standing in my garden a year later, I understood something clearly. Dignity is not given. It is defended. And it is never too late to stand up.